When I was a child, promises were paramount. If the words were uttered, "We're leaving for the pool or the farm at 8 a.m., you bet I was front and center on time, ready to walk out that promise. Promises made, whether written or spoken, are agreements, and in effect a contract or covenant between two parties. We declare words and bind those promises. Spring is a promise fulfilled. It declares a spiritual rebirth and revival of a person or land. Spring recovers inheritance and stewards the resurrection of new beginnings, a fresh start. And such occasions are always marked with a gathering of family and friends to celebrate with a feast. In our case, a feast of wild turkey, affectionately known as the spring gobbler. Oh, bird of courage, how we long to gather you. Hi, I'm Chef Missy, and I'm the French Magnolia, a true blue Southern gal with French ancestry running through my veins. My husband Thomas is a wine expert and hospitality veteran. Throughout our careers, we've worked for some incredible restaurants and hotels, from Atlanta to New York City to Charleston, South Carolina, to the edge of a mountain at a 5-star Relayan Chateau. But pretty soon, the French Magnolia, a luxury movable feast company, was born. We pour into your home and set an elaborate stage for a multi-course culinary and wine experience. We settled in Bristol, Virginia, a good place to live. And when we're not working, we love connecting with local farms and Appalachian culture. From farm, field, garden, and stream, to chef and somm, to the table, all in one day. This is the French Magnolia Cooks. Today we're declaring spring in Bastion, Virginia, about an hour east of Bristol. We're so privileged to hunt and gather on a second-generation farm originally owned by Ruby Catherine Clifton and now her children and grandchildren. I'm also joined by my first cousin, Brian Terrell, and his son, my godson, Sam Terrell, who have traveled from Charleston, South Carolina to kick off this new culinary season. And our old friend John Gurley is here to join in on the hunting fun. Also joining us is Jeremy Elliott, our local hunting guide. Okay, Jeremy, what's our plan?
So we're gonna get up at around 4:30 in the morning, get some coffee in us, get out, start making a trip to the blinds as quietly as we can. When we get to the blinds, we need to be as still and quiet as possible. Turkeys have 3 times 20/20 vision, so they'll see any movement that we make. Even in the blind, they can see it.
Okay, Jeremy, how are we gonna get these turkeys?
So we're gonna have some decoys set up. We're gonna be there at daylight when they come off the roost. We're gonna be listening for them to fly down. Once we hear that, and we know that they're on the ground, we're gonna start making some calls. Hopefully that entices some big toms to come into us. So just remember, tomorrow when we're out there, turkey hunting is one of the hardest things to do. We're gonna have some high winds tomorrow, but good Lord willing, we're gonna kill us at least one bird and have fun.
Brian, how many times have you been turkey hunting?
Just a handful of times, really.
Yeah, have you ever gotten a bird?
Never.
Yeah, it's difficult. Brian, I saw you out in the field this morning shooting at this piece of cardboard. What is all this about?
Well, I was doing something called patterning. Patterning is a way to figure out what your correct distance is if you're going to shoot at an animal, so that you're harvesting that animal humanely. So this target with a turkey head on it shows the vital areas that you want to try to hit, and you want to try to get enough pellets within those vital areas to have a humane harvest.
John, it's so great to have you here for this turkey hunt.
Man, it's great to be here. It's great to be in Southwest Virginia for another terrific hunt.
I was reading we've got some high winds tomorrow morning, 20-25 miles per hour.
Really creates a challenge with the turkey because any game will lie down because their defense mechanisms usually are to hear or see predators, but with the high winds, they'll just lie down and kind of hide. Also makes it real tough to call them in because they can't hear it with the wind. So it's going to be challenging, but I've got the right guy with me here, and we may or may not get a turkey, but we're going to have a great time.
John, tell me about this gorgeous gun.
So this is an L.C. Smith side-by-side 12 gauge. My grandfather gave this to my father on his 16th birthday. And then when my son John turned 16, I gave it to him. So it's been passed down to John from his great-grandfather, which is really important. And